Tang soji bagda dan jalsu dagi janso divi tonamji dola panchara sanji dabara sho simchin tamchi ji donde nga ga sanji ga kompang dubge yin samchigna sanji ga kompang tobar chebala nangba sanji ba zigi godun de dangbo shi chu deni nangba sanji bi tawa ga toni tawa gomba chopa teso mashiba shi ni servisinda nyamse lenga yin samshigze.
So think that I will attain the state of Buddhahood for the welfare of all sentient beings. I will attain the state of Buddhahood. And in order to attain Buddhahood, I will first come to understand the meaning and the significance of the Buddhist teachings. I will understand, I will learn about the view, meditation, and conduct of Buddhism, which I don't know yet. And once I know it, I will put it into practice in the correct way. So think like this.
Tenita terang asu nyamjir ke togni chusyak ke liram dela nangba sangji bi ta nangchu go ngoftot do chik nangba sangji ba ngoftot do chik a magji phar chirwa chik nangba sangji bi ta gum choksam nangba sangji ba kanda chila lapke yote phar kirin chen jimba yengi rete ta yinna yang terang ala chik nga ge kan shi chuchet gubate nangchu ngoftot korne yin zin songba la tenni ni ngarang ka kan ten chikda tap deo go goni long tong rikpa la sopa namba na choko chupa mepi goni oteni tap deo go goni nangchu go korni ngoftot dordi chupya yin.
So then today in this Dharma activity here on Zoom, then I will give an introduction to Buddhism, to the teachings of Buddhism. And I think probably most of you do know what is the view, the meditation, and the conduct of Buddhism. However, since I was requested to give like a short introduction to Buddhism in a very easy way, without using much like quotes and much logic or Buddhism, but just in an easy way, I will give a short introduction to Buddhism.
Teni terang arang yosa gsa te na padan duk jar kap ka nang ni duk sharshuk long ba kurzam zisate kurulong zisate allang kesar ka kabla mon nang yerjit ziji chiyo pa ti mon zisate mon kurulong zisa o tena homa chik kwemang gendan chimpir lasok ba tang o tenang jeng chik jabut kyung kitip mambo chik shon sa ka sa tendi ge ni chapar chan chila nga su teni gun kha ga ta thang te ngarang ga ta thang chudi pong ma tang ram chi ta thang chudi pong go gun sa te ta kursam jo kurulong go kursam pe ma olang ji sa te na yu sagni te ni ta ta ni chen ba tham chi la jo yo.
So the place where I'm now at is in the glorious land of Bhutan, in the east of Bhutan, called Kursang, or the Kurlung, which at the time of Lingesa was called the place of Mön, Kurlung, the land of Kur in Mön in Bhutan. And it's a place where many great realized beings and like an interpreter have come from. And so is this my winter residence where I stay in Kurlung or Pemmaö. And so from here I'm sending this teaching.
O teni ta cherang chola ni jor che pirso te ta nang chu se gu bi jamsan te ta shir ke chu se ge te la ngaran so ji nzambu lang na jumpa so so ta chujin so so tomba so so gu bi sar li teni kan hong na ba na so yin na yang kan hong la ma tu par chartang pugla semchen ge lusim ge detap lisim la jibde zovi tablam naba matsukchi yobati so chachang chuzina machokpa meba do tendire yenna yang ti nang ni chuluk mangbo yopi nang ni ngaso nangba sangjiba vegetela nang sebubi jemsante dur dipa chijoge yin.
So in this way, when we talk about the Buddhist teachings, then the Tibetan word Nang Che, yeah, is like the inner Dharma, the inner teachings, you can say, or the inner spirituality. So this Nang means inner. So this is what we usually translate as Buddhist teaching. So in generally, when we talk about religion, Che, yeah, then there's many different religions in the like dharmas in the world, based on the wisdom and of the different teachers that came into this world. And even though they have different aspects in the relative aspect, but ultimately on the long run, we can say they all aim to not harm any sentient beings, not harm sentient beings, and to benefit sentient beings. So this we can say like that. So amongst all these many dharmas or religions, then the reason why we say the inner teachings of Buddhism, yeah. So I will explain about this word inner now.
Nangbi tani boyik katogni bokka katogni sharnana nang chu zidi nang arja nang dang chanaro chos nang chu zidi yirumzhag nirez ti kotun te nang zi gubi tondak karin samnana so nga sundani char tang pukku lusim ge detap tanji dewa yin nangda charji dewa yin nangda jinjam tang jibde khabar chanji yong gona ti sawak so ta nang sim ge togni kualin gubaji tang nang sim ge togni nyamlin chi gubaji so ton yopi chani nang bazi la priwaris.
So when we say Nangpa in Tibetan, yeah, which could be literally translated as insider, so like the Dharma of the insiders, literally. Now, that's what is usually translated as Buddhism, unfortunately. But it's so this we have these two words, Nang Che. Nang means inside, and Che means Dharma. So the reason here is for us Buddhists to when we in order to attain happiness of body, speech, and mind, like both temporary and ultimate, is principally depending or to be found within our mind, and practicing within our mind. For that, therefore, that's why we call ourselves insiders, because we are in our mind, we're not on the outside.
Ngatsu teni semte dungar jumdir nyili kyapte dewa jumdir ni tang dan gubachi yonna so nang semla takshet yapuchi tangni char tang puji dungar thamche ka chawate matsu semga nyomongba margpa tang teli shongwi ndochak tang jerdang tumuk tang ngajer chagdog tang sirna la subi nyomongba tuk sum tuk nga tuk tuk namtok jachuk jertong la subi namtok mangbo chigla tenni mepala yopar jembi chardang ga wang songni teni nga su teni chirba ga jisam jangni dungar naba natsok chi nyong ga yopate jacha jathamba takcher na chokba chi res dungar thamchit nang ga sim ga chernang imba ngo ma chi bi wang ga nyomong bi wang da talwa la tenni dungar nyong ga yopa chi res.
So we can say that the cause and result of suffering that we want to protect ourselves from, and the cause and result of happiness that we want to attain, is mainly depending on our mind, because it is due to all the root of suffering is coming from our mind, from our afflictive emotions, fundamental ignorance, and what arises from fundamental ignorance, like anger, attachment, ignorance, pride, jealousy, stinginess. So the 3 poisons we call, or the 5 poisons, or 6 poisons, and the 84,000 afflictive emotions. So all of these have their root in their mind. Yeah, we're coming from that clinging to something as existent, even though it lacks actual existence. And by this, we falling under this confusion of clinging to existence, of non-existent. Then that's where we can 100% say that's where all the suffering comes from the mind and afflictive emotions in the mind.
어때디 인디디 마소테니 슈후부 농마 탐칫 후부 빠리윤 제고나다 슈후부 슈노 근직틴 따라 농와 땅 남칫 그 셈친 따라 농와 ਪਰ 도윤 그 농완다 탐칫 랑그 셈근 삼모고 말음 나오진 그 천당치 임바디 가수 니바트 시구바지그레스.
So therefore we need to know that all the outer material things, all the outer world and how whatever is there, all the sentient beings within the universe and all the desirable objects that are there in between, that everything is just a deluded appearance, just like the dream of last night.
다 텐디 임바시 차리 제니 다 삼로 지땅다 가수 등어던 용나 감칸 시기와 말레스 나라 등어 용나 드케레 삼칸 요와 말 등어 메나 가게 와레스 차르땅 푸지 대와는 요나 가게 와레스 하티 가나 가수 등어 그 싸와테 랑스 낭 셈그 독립숑그 요바 있나 다 가수 셈 주가 잡제테 하청 그거 침부 지레바.
So then once we understand this, then we need to think, yeah, because nobody wants to suffer. Yeah? Everybody thinks, actually, I prefer not to suffer. Yeah? Nobody thinks, oh, I really like to suffer. Everybody thinks, no, I prefer not to suffer, not now and not in the long run, you know. So then when we think about this, then we come to understand, actually, then it's really important to transform, to adjust our mind.
다 텐디 임발라테니는 조비 상지 좀 된디 여러 식자 터바가양 아도 셈진 남그 집대 캬버찬 지땅 데스킷 캬버찬 인겨와 메피 대와지 톱고나 낭 셈그 토니 톱고바지 임바 야차 야탐바 임바 첸니 데 코런 거양 야스땅 듬모 시땅 지바 탐치 철말 전다 빵니 데니 초네란 잔인 잠라 속바니 로트다 든거바 tkawa chetni har sim gni hubu tenyit sim garangin ga sawati kanjayin porang nangli chudni deni ngasola o ta dingar yinna sim ga tani jongba chire dewa yinna sim ga tani thop guba chire jebi cherte tan ngasola chujin ko lo porwa ji konanda semchen samla chugu porni dewa tang dingar ga rangin sim tani jong guba ji yimbati asola 다 추진 걸로서 보는데 추테스터 performance is
Samsala teets kange jo Rinpoche te parula teets duga koyere in a halam diusere konda. So therefore also our the teacher, the Buddha of our time, Buddha fully awakened Buddha Bhagavan, Buddha Shakyamuni, has understood that if one wants to attain, like if you want to attain perfect happiness, like a special happiness and peace, then we have to attain it within our mind. So having understood this 100%, he abandoned his kingdom, his wife and his son, and practiced hardships, austerities for 6 years on the river Naranjana. And then there, after that, finally, through the profound concentration, he discovered the nature and fundamental state and nature of the mind, and understood what is the nature of the mind. And once he came to this clear understanding, he understood that both happiness and suffering come from the mind and need to be like suffering comes from the mind and happiness needs to be attained in the mind by changing the mind. So therefore he turned the wheel of Dharma, and turning the wheel of Dharma is how showing us what is the nature of happiness and what is the nature of suffering and how can we obtain this within our mind. Lasso.
더 사상지 빠가양 와수 대화당 등을 지어야 돼 싸와 강라 특이 요바인 그런 거 현실 같더니 그런 거 싫을 같더니 딱시야 땅바 직법 마임바 디갑지 장송 신보당 피비 광보 망보지라 땐니 저와 들란 땅 조랑거 특섬 섬지 마차피 망본 자바레스 대그 강탁 초바데 그런 거 딘다먹진 곰 잡니 랑 셈톡리요 이 딤바도 이나면 딤바도 문도 kirwi tabla to chimbuchi ni na otani dimba kang yimba madinba kang yimba ti chil jin ken ni ri nga to la songba yimbi te dorda nga tu ta nangba ti kuba te nang sim ga tang konchuk samla kya chen ro go ba yina tangbu dimba nyik song kan ga santi sikya tabala ati yichi chi kuba ti lam tumba po ta wachila tin kelin tang tamcha chi kuba ti de
I have to say that I have a little bit difficult sometimes to understand Rinpoche. The audio is not so clear, so I try my best. Sorry. So therefore, when the root of happiness and suffering, therefore, is like coming from the mind, and this is not something that only the Buddha has taught so, and therefore we believe it to be so, but this is something that many sacred beings and great realized masters have again and again analyzed and have found it to be true. So therefore, when we come to it, to really see what is true and what not, so they have really found it to be true, and therefore, in brief, when we say the what we usually call the Buddhist teachings, which in Tibetan is called the Inner Dharma, is really meaning, because the inner refers to that we are practicing in our mind. We have to find happiness in our mind. We take refuge to the three jewels in our mind and practice them mainly in our mind. Also,
근데 까바치니 상지급이 겸산대양 직시와 침보가 가서 샘진 것도 직접 말도 그런 거랑도 뻗자면에 비토니 드니 상지급 공방지기 때 문도 기르바 임비 차추되게요 아주 lok다토 토바당 예치 촉바지레 대 마츠 공근 힘비 륵바지고 난 켄쇼대양 섬기 마차비 공공로 섬주 소득 것도 상지발라텐 야치 짝치 거버터 Kongo Kong, Sombi Sik Zirtsamlayang, Chop Do, the Litany Mepa, Dimba Nixik Song Kanchitang, Kongun Zashaga Nani Yang, Sandi Chumda di Korango Rantun Gasawa, Zirtsamya Mepa, Jantun Nixik Kanchi Yimbati, Chisar Nasar Yimbala Teni, Atu Tomba, the Tomba Jantang Mandari, Tuji Chelan, Timba Chewa, Nuba Chewa Yimbata, Atu Nepa, Chigubati.
Also, we need to definitely understand that Buddha Shakyamuni, the fact that he practiced these hardships, these austerities for 6 years and to attain Buddhahood was not even like a hair or not the least interest for his own welfare, but only for the welfare of others, to accomplish the welfare of others. And that's why he attained the state of Buddhahood. And we can completely trust, because whatever teachings he gave from the moment he attained Buddhahood until he was 80 years old, it's something that we can actually prove and we can actually see as to be only the truth. So there's nothing that the Buddha has taught for his own welfare, but only for the welfare of others. So therefore, our teacher, also Buddha Shakyamuni, is really when it comes to his wisdom, compassion, his omniscient wisdom, and his power and potential he has to liberate beings, is really very specific, also very special, unlike others.
Tendi imbala teni ngasu tomba tela lam tomba ponyeta konga kang tomba te ngasu dribnan ni parta khorang nang jeng kense nusum go yundan damba chilan jir tapata soa me pa tang zamba me pa imbala yichi shini yichi ga tapa te ga toni tomba sangji chomdan di tawala ngasu yichi shini teni lam tomba ponyeta khilemba tang tam chawati sangji la kyapsa do de pere.
So when we think about the teacher, the guide who shows us this path to attain Buddhahood for ourselves also, based on his wisdom, his love he has for all beings, and his power, his potential to guide all beings, then we can fully trust. And with this full trust, then we consider the Buddha as the infallible teacher and guide of the path, and therefore we take refuge in the Buddha.
Any cold phone be chu digger nang nayang, Matsolam, Chartang, Pugla, Panya, Tsik Marto, Mapan be Tsik Chikitang. Any Panut Gayang may be Tsik Chikita, Kong Gonlo, some sort of Nibzonte, Jachi Kyabje Malip Sinsokovata, Mundro al Hatang Chibala, Kong Sombati Nangla, Dimba Nyachikitang. Hamba you be Tsik Jamba, so you but get a jet hamburger. Tapat the low font of some rams around la. She took Kalde on Sakia Tang. Dans les zones de Tsami en Tongeme pas, Tudeme pas en Timbate, Tumdan di Rossonvi, Chutang as Yamlin Larlena Tapnane, Patu Nisherla, Range Nisherla, Tamba Yopatilla, Yacha Jatamba in the Ichi Tokni, or Tela Yamsi Lindo to Toa, Tando to Tapaki Jete, Tapala Temi, Simka, the Tamcha Jete, Chula Captain Dose Jete.
So then what the Buddha taught, the Dharma that he taught, is only bringing benefit both on the short and on the long run. And there's nothing that will not bring a benefit. Anything the Buddha has taught since when he was 36 years until his 80 years, both to humans, to gods, is only the truth and only beneficial. So this is 100% like this. Specifically, all the three turnings of the wheel that the Buddha has given is only beneficial, is for us to be practiced and to be realized, and will be, if we practice it, will benefit ourselves and others. This is 100%, and by trusting this 100%, and we develop this wish to practice this Dharma, and with this devotion to the Dharma, and this promise, like this compromise to practice the Dharma, this is how we then take refuge in the Dharma.
Any theatre to Sanji Chumdan de Gakang, Somba Namshin, Chumdan Digi Gel near Sombati, Ranganawa Nangla Kuni, Chumdan Digi Ger Mususimbi, Chari Wudang, Mongol Kubalas opinion to Chimbo Jetang. Te Namshinga, Papa Tiji Chimbo Shari Zutan, Chana Durje Lasopan, Jambi and Lasopi, Shanti Sepa Nibi Sishin Gel Lasopa, Dorla, Ki Cup Tilla Nibi, then Tuba on Drap Chumba. Ripan Zambatan, Shanti Sefa Lasuba, Samji Metapati, Jumdan Diga Kang, Sombate, the division the Yam Lani, Rana Salam Gotopan Tumbo Tobni, Zumtra Langwang journey, Sintilatun, Yachimbo to Kiopata, Logi the Tony, who's the Tony, Rakon Fetavati Yendi, Matu and division the Gindan, Pachimbo Town, Pachimbola, Topi, Chuyam Selim, and the Topi Gendan Nam. Te tang te nong jin chi ngyang che ke yin sam gi tang do tang to wa yi chi ge ta pa ke ni thang ni o sim la te gendun kon chok la kyap do je te yang tin gendun la kyap do wa je te re.
So, and likewise, those actual direct students who heard the teachings of the Buddha with their own ears, like the great Arhats, Shariputra, Moggaliputra, and like the 8 great Arhats, likewise the Bodhisattvas, Chenresi, Vajrapani, Manjushri, and so forth, the 8 close sons or their close sons, the 8 great Bodhisattvas. So in brief, all the like Arhats and Vidyadharas and Bodhisattvas heard whatever was taught, they put it into practice, and then obtained very great realizations of the path and the bhumis, and could accomplish a vast welfare of sentient beings. And this, like there's many like histories about that. And same for us, like in our mind, and we think that these members of the Sangha who follow the Buddha and who put the practice who put the teachings into practice and attained realization, this noble Sangha, we will practice accordingly to them. We will follow their example, and with great confidence and devotion, then also we take refuge in the Sangha in this way.
Ota tesonga suteli takshirta the konchoksumla capson rovatiri. Ta tela ngarang samshar gonim durdipa, the canana bala kaf salu goni junane. Tangi jumdendi, yalva shikja tabata of chik, Yana ujin guru Rinpoche pama samba wata of chik tang, Yana ranga tepa yopi savila mata of chikla samlo tang na yang, Deg Kimba yishi ki chachi yora, Minkin ba me ping tenrit ki chachi. Kimbi yishi tela nga su yichi ki tapa chikini, Hong Kong Kimba de, Ni lagli na tapi, Samba da yichi chik yopate, Sangi la kapsa duwa.
So then this is like the way how we take refuge to the outer three jewels of refuge, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And also in to explain you again, like in brief, what myself I think about this is that to when we either to the Buddha Shakyamuni, or to the great master of Odhyana, Guru Rinpoche, or to our the Root Lama, to whom we have devotion, like this devotion and full confident trust and devotion that we have in our mind, that like lets us put into practice this devotion towards the Lama, towards the Buddha, towards the Guru Rinpoche, then this is what we say is the refuge in Buddha.
Any Sanji Tang, Janchip Sepa Lama La Sopa, Tapena Sanji Shakya Tabata or Chiglan Sonna. Tig, Sivaga Nyonji Yopa de la Natsu Yapu, Shini, Koranga Rantun puts a maybe Jampan drippy Nyonji Chimbo, Jambata Nyonji Chimbo, and Kin, Sizivinanga, Siva Chimbo, Siva Chimbo de la Natsu Yer, Yichi, Tapachini, Thief Sivi Nurli, Tombi, and that's what like Biba Paya in a Diva Dria in a Yamlin Contia in a tender Chishosi, Car Nambatilla, Masutini, Siva Tilla Yichini. Tanglin chit tabate, yichi chit tabate, Yamlin chit tabatela, Chula captain Rosia is.
And then whatever, like the Buddha, the Bodhisattvas, the Lama, and for example, Buddha Shakyamuni has taught out of his loving kindness, out of his wisdom, compassion, that is not at all for his own welfare, but only for the welfare of others. And so this compassion, great compassion of the Buddha, that by which he taught, when we trust in that compassion and love of the Buddha, understanding that this, whatever he taught, is not for his welfare, is only for the welfare of other sentient beings. And then with this trust, and when we abandon negative actions or practice virtuous actions, or whatever practices we do of adopting and abandoning what Buddha has taught, whatever we practice with full confidence and devotion, then this is the refuge, in taking refuge in the Dharma.
Any Sanji Chumden Ditang, Yana Udin Gurumbochi, Sanji Shanship Senpa, Savi Lama La Sopi, Kensi Nusum Ganaga, Nubach Giorata, Hogan Rotun Zapatang, Tantun Japatang, Tablam Kipi, Fulam, Jirgi Wanta Pantendi Zivanam, Nato, Tati Main now, Tablam Kipi, Timchin Jason Zimbi, Tablam Kipi, Chupa, Nubach Giorata. Nuba tela ngasu yerang yit tapakini tapi kini hamikoni niyang tista chupa la poche chupa te niyang zat atmat agin samer yerang yichi tapak kini hami tamcha ki semna yona gendal la chapsi do chamdu te tere sambu.
And then whatever Buddha, Shakyamuni, Guru Rinpoche, or the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, our kind Root Lama, they have this power, like of what we say, the wisdom love and compassion. And by this, they take care of sentient beings. They are very skilled in skillful means to take care of sentient beings, to guide sentient beings to liberation, and have like very great potential in this skillful means. And if we then like rejoice in these skillful means, and we think, I too will follow in their example, I rejoice and I trust in this, their capacity, I myself, I promise that I will become like this. This, I think, then is actually taking refuge in the Sangha.
Ingi terang chin number la te zi shatang ko ni tondog da chibari konchok sum la chap san ruwa chigari thamchi da kun yang kun lam chok ti kirwa chigari te thab lama sangji shangsem kong yin na te ge tu git na chig bi kembi yeshi tang sewa ge nyang je tang jembi nuba sam te sangji chu tang gendan sam la jarni te la yerang wa tang yichi ba tang tapa chi bi pinni phang te taw chi nyang hun de kir chu ke yin sam ni na chak pinada chopa pinada lumak patang dam di tensu tong zadna eso cha ta ta konchuk samla kyap san do di ni terang da musar ka tani cha tang tensu so yin la kinna bi tak de ko chi tang da yang yam do ngoma chi yin sam de os.
So in this way, the way how I explained today about the refuge is like the same, no? When we take refuge, what we say in the 3 jewels or the 3 supreme rare ones, like all of them are supreme and rare, like possessing the omniscient primordial wisdom, possessing the great compassion of love and kindness, and possessing the power to guide beings. And when we trust in these and have devotion in these qualities, and the firm conviction that we also will follow their example and become like them, then this is really taking refuge in the 3 jewels, no? So it is like in a different way how to explain it sometimes when we take refuge, but I think it's also like non-different and taking refuge really like that.
Na nga su kyam du kab la na rang gab lama ta sawi lama ta ba chi yin na na ku gendan yin ba song tam chu yin ba thuk sang ji yin bi go ni lama la shuk sum ta thang yo se thang bi yi chi ge tong ni kyap san ro wa ti lama chi ba la kyap san ro na na kun shuk sum de la chang yo zin de tong ge yo pa ta thak pa thumong ge yong jak de re te ni ta ta sam na lama yin na da sang ji yin na da chang chi se pa yin na da la kang yin na da Tegan, Simba Yishi, Songi, Siva Nyonji, Tambi Chu, Jimba Nubati, Gendel La Yichi Boni, on Kensi Nusum, Moon the Kirwam, Kensi Nusum, Ranga Tober Jari Cheta, Ranga Lunga, Sutan Tambi Boni, Yamlin Chayana, when some caps of Goa, the liter almost 30 defiance.
So generally also we say that when we take refuge, that the body of our Lama, root Lama, is the Sangha, his speech is the Dharma, and his wisdom mind is the Buddha. So that the 3 objects of refuge are included in our Lama, and when we trust in that and we take refuge in this way, also in the Lama, who is the union of all the objects of refuge. And so this is the general, like common to all vehicles, explained like that, to all schools explained like that. But then also what I said today specifically want to say is like that when we talk about the Buddha, the Lama, the Bodhisattvas, and their primary wisdom, their love and compassion that they have, their power that they have, that this also is like a representation of the 3 jewels. And by us like having trust and devotion in that, and having like this promise that I will practice this, I will accomplish this, then this is also a specific or special way to take refuge in the 3 jewels.
O te tabi Kyabje chenba tang sewa tang nupak samde ta samlo chi tang da tapshe de ko chi tang da te jan chi ni nga so la thop guba chi re da ta sta rang la me pa chi sadrup chi guba chi re da rangla yupa chikten obanchi mundu kir guba chigre tela takshet tang guba chigre tirtar takshet tang mo rikpa chan chigin rang mashina lama gi shirnyen khipa chigla tawati yanan pecha zabmo chik nang li lobjang chi onan ta testa win khense nuksum ziyate rang sem ga tang ni ya kompher la tang mundu kir tap che chig marto jan chigni top guba chig tan ni yang yo mare kemba zewa nubak samto rang sem na hanki si yopi rang sim ga na yopa chire sim da yirmit yopa chire ti ya konfil la tang si gonanda ti ngon de chiri thablam chi ga ki buba chi yendi ta kunchuk sam la kyap sun do ji tiang tani nang ga tang ni nang sim ga tang ni chet buba chi yendi te ta nga so nang ba si tiang ti la ko yo re
And these are like qualities of the objects of refuge, of wisdom, love, and power potential. Then when we think about it, is it something that we need to get from somebody else, or is it something that we like attain like new because we didn't have it before, or is it something that is already there in us and that we have to just manifest and increase? So this we need to check. And to check it, we can either check it with our own like intelligence, or if we are not able to check it ourselves, we can receive teachings from a lama or read the text, and then we will come to understand that actually there are these qualities of wisdom, love, and power potential to benefit others is there already in our mind, and we have to just manifest it and increase it, and it is like spontaneously or primordially present within our mind, inseparable from our mind. And to increase it, to manifest it, then what we need is for this we take refuge in the three jewels, and then by this we understand, so that again these qualities of wisdom, love, and potential are present within our mind. So therefore we say we are like in our mind. So that's why we call ourselves insider, yeah? Nangpa, which is the word that is usually translated as Buddhist, which literally means insider, because we understand that all these qualities are in our mind.
Shipa nangba chamro ge chat se ji tiang da nga so ta da nangba sang ji nang chu se ji te ga ngi nang se ji ti kor di jog yora ta tin di ti nang se ji ti shipa nangba chamro ge chat se di chap sun ro wi tsir te la ta kun chuk sum ngun zan tang ga go ni sang ji chu tang gen dang sam la ngun zan tang ji da sang ji chu da gen den ze ya tiang ni te rang mixer ka o tenin sang ji gu tu gid na shi pi semgid narjigbi chemba tsiwa nubak samla yit chipi togni tim ngunde kirwi tabla tsombate kunchuk samla kyabsan rowa yin zegi kuwa lenona o nangba zegi nang semga togni kuwa lenga yopa nang semga togla kunchik kega yopa chi yimbi chani nang zegi nga su ngole ta ngulen zebunanda ngoshi guba chire.
So we say, it is said in the text also that the difference between like literally outsiders and insiders, yeah? So non-Buddhists and Buddhists is refuge, whether they have refuge or not. So that's how, so as I'm explaining this word insider, like Buddhists inside is, it's said that when we recognize like the three jewels as the objects of refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as the objects of refuge, then and take refuge in them, then we are Buddhists, we are insiders, and if we don't, we are outsiders. So the way how I explain it today is that we understand that in our mind are these qualities of wisdom, love, and potential, like which is Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and that we understand that these have to be manifested within our mind. Therefore, as we say, it's in our mind, we trust it to be in our mind and to manifest and increase it in our mind. That's why we say we are insiders, we are Buddhists.
Atli nang chu zeki naga dharma chu re te ko adaptu dor di phu anina ta chu zeki te chu go ngo mansewa zin song go yoram dorna Rangjin Simchin Konglayang, Massivi Rangjin Jungle. Siva Mepi Rangjin Janjula, Nambi choose any love you by Indi. Tata Ngati Kunchuk Samganami, Simbag Yishita, Sanji Ponchula Ruzon. Team Chendrik Chapar Jungle, Tony, Siva the Yonji, the Tambi Chula Muzona, Yonji, Sivi Rangjin Chandi Shori, Lantur Peninsula, Simchin Lopaki Gozet, Yongama. The Mayong by Indi, at the Sivi Rangjin Chanti Yam Lingu by Yena, Jella Lopachi Terminator. Jella Pamba de Gupachima, Lopachi Lam Terminator Kindi, Tanga to Tambi, choose a gift, Jella, Siva Nepal and Mundumina, that a concept from the wounds and Tangatangian, Sensi Nusum Gananga, Siva, Nyonji lives on Chapar Chanti, as to Tanglin Kini. The Tony, the Tanglin China, Sensi Lamopa Shipa, Yil Mepa, Ni Mepa, Cup Mepa, Jim by Chibore, the Tavi Goni. What the name in Tiatilla, Lunga from the certain conception in a Timchi Lamuba Missipati in the Chani, choose a git, the Dachilla Kuguare.
So then this is about what to say the Nang Chu in Tibetan, the inner Dharma. So the inner is the meaning of is that, you know, when we say Buddhist, the inner Dharma. And Dharma here, it's when we talk about Dharma, we say the characteristic of Dharma is that it's not violent or not harming any other sending beings, not harming to oneself or other sending beings. So it well, what we call therefore the Dharma, the inner Dharma or Buddhist Dharma, then is when we combine it with the three jewels of refuge. We said that, like, we recognize the quality of primordial wisdom or omniscient wisdom as the Buddha, the jewel of the Buddha, and the quality of love and compassion is the jewel of the Dharma. So therefore, since there is compassion and love, so it's impossible to harm any sentient being. So what we have to practice in our mind, the nature of love in our mind, and therefore we can only benefit and not harm any other sentient beings. So therefore this is what we call the sacred Dharma. We need to recognize it like that out of these three qualities of wisdom, love, compassion, and power potential, then when we accept it like this, to the Dharma to be of the nature of love and compassion, then as we practice it within us, then we can never harm any sentient beings, but only benefit sentient beings. So this is what is the meaning of Dharma, really.
Siva Mishit be Sulla, Rang Kulhung Wanga Namba Natsu you are is, Viju Jana, Malala Chik, Ranga Lama Tang, Giu Shirnyanga, Lamtun Cheligtang, Ranga Mazigorgota, Kenja Zibunanda, Samlo Tang Tang the Wanga, Tangaki Fenachi, Simchin Buddha Wachila Samlo Tunayo, Ranga Dona you team Buchila Face of Man, Businchila Face of Nayo. Some person tell no pachi younger mares. It says no pachi bando. Tell no pachina. He lead on Jimji the Naman, the Tenchang, Jenjung Sergi, Nalayang, sit what not Mawalas, no pachi nipper the younger days. Hard no pachina, throw no paying. Half Pambachina, don't lie, Sir Pamba Yoga Yopachi, with Jimji, Tutu, Hoamepa Yendi. Tam Busan Tawachina, near Nopachit Yang Marimat, Nopachina, Arang la Tipo Yongere, Sami, Arang la Pansim Tang, Rang la Titi the Goni, Janla Nopa Michiti, Filchan, Rick the Lichika Yongere, not Mala.
So when we say take refuge, we take refuge in the Dharma, then meaning that we cannot harm any sentient beings. So there's also different motivations then for this. So some, for example, learn from their lamas, from their spiritual friends, that like not to harm any sentient beings, and think, for example, like even a small insect I must not harm, because if I would cause any harm to the life of this small insect, then due to the infallible principle of cause and effect of karma, then this harm will come back to me and will harm my life also again and my longevity again. So whatever I harm, like whatever harm I give out, this harm will come back. As the principle of karma, cause and effect is infallible, it is like this. So therefore, I must not even harm small insects or smallest beings, because if I would do that, then I would also have like a great negativity that would come back to me. So using oneself as an example, then like oneself as a reason for not harming others, because one doesn't want to harm oneself, then one avoids harm. Yeah, so that's one way to see it, also one way of motivation to have.
Ni yang lama tang gi shirnyang ga hapsha arang ga nyang tup tang phim tup tang chiun gu chapar la ten ni yang basan ta wu chigla pe bjigna delak no pa chit nyang ga maris gang rezena arang ga thi homa ni homa la thoma me pa yimba la ten ni thi homa chigla dongna yo pim basan ti yang ni tenchin ga amata wu chi yo pi jimthan la ten ni na dengi tenchin ga tarti phama ta chapar yo mari samni Kila chamba ta nyonji gome amata ni tenchin ga amala ni no pa china deli ta mau pa murong ba chapar chan chire samni na rongtun mai na jella phandu rong phamala rong pinna mola rong tini phandu tu samba yore ba te nong chen go goni gona yo pim basam ta wa chila pe jagna yo kila no pa da kawa chi no pa china da rong la yo no pa mashi pa ma sa yena rong tenchin ga phama ta wa yin di cherna ni phan tak go bare samni na chamba chimbo ko teni teni ni phandok samba yo pa china dere yo chinjin la no pa che te yo pa ma de tendi ver chen chila yo ni
Likewise, depending on our strengths of mind and courage of mind, then the Lama, our spiritual master, can give us this advice and tell us that, like we must, if there's, for example, one any being, even the smallest insect, then we should not harm it. Because since beginningless lifetimes, these beings, even this small insect, has been my kind mother many times, and is no difference actually to this insect and to my parents of this life at all. So therefore, I need to have loving kindness and compassion for these beings, and not just leave it with not harming these sentient beings, but benefiting it, the sentient being. Yeah, so like there is no consideration of one's own welfare there at all, but only the considering the welfare of others. So therefore, we don't just stop harming other sentient beings or this insect, but try to benefit, as it has been our mother of great kindness, or father and mother of great kindness. So just like I would of course not harm my father and mother of this life, I try everything to benefit them. So in the same way, I need, even for this small insect, try to benefit it as much as possible. So with this great loving kindness, then we not just we give up harm to sentient beings and even try to benefit. So this is also then another motivation.
Tani ranga yang riptian chik atwa mi riptian ga sem ketang ga khabar ka sem chen la no pa ma che pi chani tambi chu nyam te lembi thurla yang mo ga chik la kare yore zena yang dong na yo pi mbasan ta chik la samlo tang na yang te tenchen ga phama tar ta arang tang shind ni chang nyong ni wo tang siwa yo pi ma ta wo samlo tang ni te la siwa chang wa sam chik ma yin ba dong na yo pi mbasan ta wo te la yang 이 샘깃난 샘바당 세와당 누바스냥 오벤치 축축 다딱 로르 그 드마틱당 바체치고 황атын 조니 좀 무슨 지게 루틴 나오는 차근들 요바마 돌라 이게 샘깃대요 성지가 예시비 탑도 요바 성지가 예시 원베케비 탑 탑을 찬지당 찾나 호영 성지 축축 요바 성지가 랑진 임바 Tendi chila teni kuwa lega polen shimka inna yo nga su songi la no pa che maria chopi yir de ba sevi yir yimba mathat chupar chavi yir tang gurur chavi yir tang super chavi yir yimba la yichi china yang ti chani yang haru busan tawa sila yo no pa che ti kap ne pa tawa chi chang yo bari ji shirna yo is tabi yir chen ti yo chen chen la no pa che ti yo mari
Rinpoche nga parula de dradi tets sebo mindu meba cha sebo maimba chagire de sebe yul yinsang tene kare sungsong chepe yul sungsong tepe yul kalti kotsu masong chepe yul tepe yul kare sungsong
ab gurur chavi yir jina nga su ya ta
kurba
kurtu che pena nga su ta kanzi gondi go la zi ji chora nga su lang su ten chi bi o la tang nam den na yo pi busun ta wa busun chi la nga su bu chi la no sam tang na bu tok ma ta wo chi la sam no tang na ja o chi ta nga su nyam chung sen chi chi pe la je yo re wa ten di chi nan ta wo chi la yang ma ta li tang bo wa si go na nga su tak ba chung chi ko wang ta tang na te la nga su tu no pa che nyang go ba ten da busun yin Tila nupa china li jimdi ka rangla nuriyo samna yang nupa cheki yuwa mares.
hagus
Ama tartu shina tiwa ka gunik nupa cheki yuwa mares. Taate nangsi namtak tawa ti yang rangwachin devrak shakpu nyangbo ka chapi sangji ka yishi chan yin samna na tapa shawa tang. Ta tang irmit yambi chani yang thala nupa chimkan yuwa mara. Tapa shiba tang chuk chani nupa cheki. Ang tar kyang tata siwa chimbu rangwachin lipshong itambi chu nyamsi limkan yin na 어떤 때 샘질라 놓바 메짓 받고 직바치 장착을 요하래.
So then another people, they like really special beings, another way while they would not harm any sentient beings, as they practice the sacred Dharma in the correct way, then is when they think of one like being like a small insect, for example, then not just out of love, thinking that this being has been my parent, but also thinking even this small insect has the qualities of wisdom, love, and power of the Buddha in their mind now. Even just now, these qualities are obscured by temporary stains, but even so it appears to be an insect, but their mind has also these capacities right now of this Buddha's primary wisdom that is pervading them. The Buddha nature is present within them. So therefore, when they encounter these specific means to manifest and increase this primary wisdom of the Buddhas, then they are actual Buddhas. So they are of the nature of the Buddhas. So therefore, I cannot harm them because they are actually an object of reference, not just an object of love, but also even an object of reference, like they are a deity, like a wisdom deity. So even this insect, So in this way, these different ways of not harming in the Dharma, when it says Dharma is free of harm or violence, is because one thinks of oneself. One thinks, if I harm this being, then the karma will produce an effect that will come back to me as a result of suffering. So and then the second is like to consider all beings as our parents, and out of loving kindness and compassion, then not harming them. And the third is to consider all sentient beings, even small insects, even like an ant, having like the nature of the primary wisdom of Buddha, and therefore is an object of devotion, like a deity. So these are the different ways how the sacred Dharma then is like, which is of the nature of great love, then is not harming any sentient being.
Tende indi ta nga su teni tata nang chu zeki nanga ni ta chu de ngok tse ke yo chu ze te nga su teni sewa chimbo sanji ta shangchip ten ki tik sewa chimbo go goni chong bi nga zina nga so lang tor ton bi tik pesha ga ngona yo na da teni khani tar bi kat yin na da o tis ta wu chik to ni nga su laglin tap gu ba tang ko len gu ba yin ji sewe li ton bi nga chik na la janlak nupa chit de yong sit ma sewa li kombi na sewa li kombi pa nang la janlak nupa chit manyan se chi yo pa ni nupa mishipi tsul te la tata jupa nang jin thakpa thumong tang thakchin shangship ke sem tang thakchin khang dorje thakpa ga lam sum tata tang im busun chi ko pe bjigni te la nupa chit nyang ga ma ngarang la no kare sam ji li jim ji la yechi ga to ni nupa ma che pa chi tang ni tenchen go phama tang tewi me tang chapar yo mare tela phanchi tak go gare samni nyang shamba chimbo go kinni langte phandu che pa chi tang den tha garang jin de der shakti nyang bo go chapi maung sangji dirong go kansak chapar chan ti yit samni tapa tang mupa tang kuba chi pe go ni chopar chawi yer tan zamba chi tang sum go kulong go ni Mati nyam te len guba ki yendi te, da tam ki tambi chu dharma ki te, jan lan tiwa machie pi ram chen, tiwa machie pi thur la, kandi ga kulhung ka chabar ka, anga ki kostok ka chabar ka, gawa mandala ki yona yang. Dorna nopa machie pala, chipa chikang yendi guba te, nang ba sanji chu da ki te la, kandi chika tani kuwa len guwa re.
So as I'm explaining now the Dharma, yeah, the Nangpe Che, the inner Dharma, then as I said, is the Dharma is of the nature of great love, and therefore the way how I explained it is that like the Buddhas, the Dharma which we say is what the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas have taught out of their base, coming from their loving kindness and compassion of their wisdom mind, and which has then been written down, which we are practicing. So this Dharma means that it's not right to harm any sentient being. It has to be free of harm or violence, either through the reason of the common vehicle, of the basic vehicle of Hinayana, or the great vehicle of the Bodhisattvas and Bodhicitta, or of the great vehicle of secret mantrayana, vajrayana. So basic using this example of even a small insect, then I explained in these three ways of motivation. The first one is to think that I will not harm any sentient being because of karma, cause and effect. This effect will come back to me. So for oneself, also understanding karma, the principle of karma, cause and effect, one avoids to harm beings. And according to the Mahayana, then is not just not to harm, but because these beings has been my kind parents, father and mother, and is no difference to my kind father and mother of this life. Therefore, with great love, I need to benefit this being. And the last motivation is to understand that all these beings have the nature of Buddha, of Tathagata Garbha, Sugata Garbha, Buddha nature, which in the future will make that also they are already they are like a special individual, like a sacred being, because they have the Buddha nature present in them. So therefore, in this way, the sacred Dharma means not to harm others, be that through the like the first motivation, second or third motivation, but there are these different motivations, but all comes down to that what we call the Buddhist Dharma, or the inner Dharma, then means that we must not harm any sentient being.
Siwa li shong ya dam ngat rang ge che to kang ta pe nyan len chi ong di ta ti nyam len chi na drum di chi thong ge da ma re sam na tam phak pi gen dal la sam lo tang ko ba re tam kun ge ni jar pa te so yang te star ta siwa chimbo ta nyang ji chimbo li shong yi ngak phung cha par chan chi de rang ge ma chi ba chi chi ni chi ni nyam to lang ni khong te so yang nu pa cha par chan chi ngon de chi yo ra lama teaching top khipa to thamche tendi ga so mi nang chabar tam phakbi roton chabar chen jongkhan ga zamshar la ngawang jongkhan tendi chik chak ro ati ko de na ta juba nang jong ga o ti siwa chimbo di so ngak chabar chen so chabar chen Fang gupati so fang, zip gupati so zip ni, laglin tab ni, fong di so la teni nuba chapar chanchi ngon di kir fong da yendi. Maso yung testa vi nuba chapar chanchi ngon di kir vi tab la, teni jarwa koma te so tang, ki vendan dam, ngakpa yin na da, zimba yin na da, namjur ringsun pomo kang yin na da, ye tang ti kinshut chapar chantang, kulam chapar chantang, zachut chapar chante, nge yang testa laglin tab na, fong nang zin jirgo tab sari, samji te la, rang rang la yichi kwa. Yangada tili chit subna ya, nida chit sub jamari samjado mayimba, suchi chit matuba yuwa mari. Niyang chit tili samsando rang rang la yichi chini, o tili nyamnin chegi tela, tampi gendan la kyab santori surzaki yuwari. O tili yindi ta nga so tili nang chu zegiti nangba zegiti konchuk samla kyamdru yakpochi yodme tang, chu zegiti la tsiwa mapshi pi rangzhin chanchik, nyamnin ga tangna yodme te nga su rang rang la tanana, nga su ta kulung ke chapar ndawa manda yuna yang dorna tolla semchin la nopa shege tang samba ngamba shege te swan joge yuna maso tini nangba yimba masat nangbi chu yang nyam sin kanji yin ta te mayna konchu sunla chapsan dona yang rowa sam mas laglin ge tang semchin la nopa mangbo chete yoka yinna nangba chi yinna yang nangba sam mas tini nangbi chu nyam shege te tarong sir jinda nyam sin tapka mepa jawji 어떤이 창비요 봐도 아주 무슨 구바지래
And so in this way, the Dharma, this Dharma, which is of the nature of love, of great love and lack of harm, then if we practice, we might ask us, is it possible for us then to attain a result of this practice? At that time, then we need to think about the noble Sangha, like those who practitioners who use this Dharma of great love, and then by this obtain great power and special qualities, many lamas and great beings, great scholars and highly realized siddhas, who amongst humans were really like special beings who had obtained even miraculous powers. And because applying this Dharma of great love, then have applied whatever has to be applied and abandon whatever has to be abandoned, and have obtained great power by this. And if we practice this Dharma, then we also, just like them, following their example, we can attain these powers and special potential, whether we are ngakpas or whether we are ordained, whether we are male or female yogis, yoginis. Like, we need to have this confidence also to think that if I practice the Dharma, I can become such a special being like the noble Sangha. So we need to have this inner confidence also, not thinking that others could do that, but I cannot do that. So of course there's no reason why others can do it and I should not be able to do that. So therefore we need to have this inner confidence, and this is basically then when we say to have really taken refuge into Buddha Dharma Sangha, and like when it and being a Buddhist or not, it comes down to this. Like of course, if we are still, like, even if we take refuge like with the words, and but then harm other sentient beings or think bad about other sentient beings, then we are just like a mere outwardly appearing Buddhist, like, because if we take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha, we say like that, but in our practice we actually harm sentient beings, then this is really not just a mere outer Buddhist. We haven't yet been able to fully, like in its authentic way, establish Buddhism within ourselves. So this is something we need to recognize then.
오다 근데 지금 가서 낭추 vegetete zko tapche samji tene chig yopi gonda tangni ta chu vegete ngaso ma rangir ka tangni nyamse lingu bi kabla nyamse lindo te yechi tang kalwa zangbo chi yinna ne chorang nangba thangji bi chula phoda mo ge chaparya ne lu gingo tang jomba ge chaparya ne zamnang charl wisdom go murk chaparya ne Torang pepa yuna, konchuk sumla kyabsan rot sam, Namji Garanga Simkam Jibde Garangan, Tangi Jibde Garangan. Deva Chimbu, Yishi Mundu Kirvala, Sova Yunene, Masunda Wachikina, Yamsilin Chupachi Yen, Tambi Taposanti Chumdan, Geranguka, Nazario Baji, Re Mato, Benichi, Chafat Dawachitan, Panjut Dawachitan, the Libet Chujik, Chusok, Yakit Taya, the Chip, Kachapachi Tani Mare, the Lindi, Marang, the Sinam, Yamsilina, Lindut Yuna, Lin, Chupachi Yamba, Chibare.
So therefore, this how we need to understand a little bit about this inner Dharma, the inner spirituality, or the Buddhist teachings that we translate usually. So Dharma here is like we need to practice it within our mind and understand that we are all fortunate that we can do it, and there's no difference whether we are man or woman, whether we are like old or young or whatever race we belong to in this world. Like if you have devotion and full confidence and trust in the Dharma and you apply it, then you have this ground, this fundamental ground of definite peace and happiness in your mind. So if you practice the Dharma, these methods, then you can manifest these and increase these. So it's not this is what the Buddha himself, the founder of these teachings, the Lord of these teachings, has said that there's no difference. Yeah? So we should, like, whoever wants to practice this, it is there, ready for us to be practiced and accomplished.
Atendi Indi Kasu Woma, Tun Womi Tani, Lafshed Longshed Mabu Kantit, for a Yamlin Share Gatova Yut, Kurva Dinger Jamsoli, Tardut Yut, Kurva Dinger Piranjanti, Sawa Nyomo Balal, Tiryopati, Shini, Rangus Hemjit Mark Bata, Nyomo Bata, Des Ripa Yishigapa, Wong Juriala, Munda Kirvala, Zeva Yunkanta, Muba Yunkanti Yena, I can't go where is it? I think the Tambo Lama gives you to take over your race. Lama te a consumption de Lama chicken ming yo pa sam down. Turku chicken ming yo pa sam down. Tambo chicken mang yo pa sam mayinder. Orang yang Lama Zambo tin yung kanji. Tambi chugu shugla hobjang ya ku jet yung kanji. Hobjang si pa sam mayindi laglin la tab ni nyamlin tang nyamnyong yang. Ala kansam yun kanji. Any figure na so te rang homala. Yang dia tu, dia apa janji yang kan? Otendi cipta tang ni ne, otendi rangga tebla malu benci tenje ti tangbo, macam tu kerja boleh.
And then, in this way, when we understand this, to practice the Dharma, then if we want to liberate ourselves from the ocean of suffering, of samsara, if we understand that the root of the ocean of samsara is the afflictive motion of the poisons of 5 poisons, 3 poisons, and that if you want to like manifest and actualize the awareness Rigpa of primordial wisdom, then what we need first of all is to follow a lama, a spiritual master. And to follow a lama, a spiritual master, it's not enough just to follow anybody who has the name lama, or just because they have the name Tulku, or because they have a name of Kempo or whatever. But the lama we follow, that themselves have to have followed a good spiritual master. They have to have studied all the Dharma, and whatever they have studied, not leave it with their studies, but have to put it into practice, put it into experience, and have these experiences also, and mainly also to have loving kindness and compassion for the students, like in a very specific, very special way. If somebody is like this, then this is a Lama that we can follow, and this is very important from the very beginning.
Tendi ke lama ti tak go pa indi, tambo lama tak go yo area. Tak shet tang na tang asu lama te kanda tak go area sena. So te ngasu tak shiga marala. Tak kola sewa yud me te nyaksik tak go area. Koga ta barkam zasha te so kandan zandik. Ta kongam zapa te kandan zakandik. Semchen shetang shep tak rang kong ten na ngala. Shind ni jang sewa gam tarsu di nichar la pandi. Sewa chi kola yud me, yongji chi yud me ngasu tak go area. 다 영지 땅 세바 용칸지 옛나 산이 나는 가서 센 사르비 지나 그런 거 영지에 나토라 판 맞구나 니토라 판 tokk 만들지니 판 tokk이 탑 남아 비스니가 센트리오 산에 나토 땅거래 그 영지에 옛날에 그런 거판 토나 마토나 톡바 나오진시니 나토 맞지때 신드니 장 톱가비 맞지때 초락당지 닌카 요발라 테니나 또 라마 딱지텔라요 시 넘버 3 마임바 nang nyangji yudne tenga su ka chishi tak jete nyangji yudne tida tak gware jena nyangji sem ga yondan chi de nga su mukta thoya yo mare ta te kare de khongam zacha khongam zantin la ta ni na sewa di su zantin changban zakten de gamen de o te yeko chi tagni sewa yong kan ji na chenjap tina ko ndu chi sa yondan la te sam mena yang 그런 거 판 맞거나 띠와 요까지가 홈마티라 인식 아우 니처럼 판톡사 말이 조스바 빼역본도 추가이나 가리나지 조글 합다지 저 돈도 빼역본도 추가리나지 곰다지니 그런 거판 맞거나 형지 되거나 어쩔라 남직산 니바트산 용거래 디입셔나 저와 고만한 거 라미 딱딱 마보치 요나요 또 랑골라마 기유셔님 서와 토피 틴 카버찬지 틴 고나 라미 티집나 띠와 유르네 sabjeta 하창 karchen 보게
So then, in this way, a lama like this, we first need to examine. We need to examine the lama, and we need to understand, like, even so, we cannot examine all the qualities of the lama, but we definitely need to see if the lama has compassion and love for the students. This is something we definitely need to see. If a lama has loving kindness and compassion, then we can follow such a lama, because then this lama, he will be able to benefit us through his loving kindness and compassion. And but if the lama has no compassion and no love, then they will just take care of themselves and to benefit themselves. So how do we know that the lama has compassion, loving kindness, and compassion? As it is a quality of the mind, we cannot see it, but we can understand it through their actions, how they act towards sentient beings, how they act towards others if they have loving kindness and compassion. And even though if we don't see any other qualities, as long as the lama has this loving kindness and compassion, then they will benefit us through this loving kindness and compassion. And therefore, main quality we need to look out for is loving kindness and compassion.
traditionally lama ji yepo ten thamna choli thakpi lama dagla mit chochi song li nyamnen jan de mit tin homa te song yore ta ngoni sha sona na rang lama yepo ji thop sona lama te choli thakpi lama dagla mit jina choli thakpi sangji je ti ni su thap sa mare sauk satang kar kangla sunayo sangji je ni nga tu sokang ka nala jagyo ti sek ka nang ji nga tu thop sa mare sek ka yepo thop na ti na song jong ka mandis Tindi yini zonte kwanjir tajir ke pecha ga nangna ne ngasola mi nangna tindi love yo chorang ke tindi chi zene na pra song jong ka mandi tang uni rangla tindi blantur ni song khan go lama gi chi ni sewa da dagni chanchi yo na ha tin musi uni tang ni chulli sakti yo lama dagla me tindi khilen na len chok ba chi ni tuji song di nyam ni na janda me lama ti sewa ga song di song te rang tambi chu yimba la yi chi na sewa li song di chu re rang the chunyam lemba go ko chok yo bari o tedi la rang ye chi tang ta pa chi che thamna lama chi ji tang za chu tang bo go nu pa chapar chang go pakti gendan ta wa te rang lama ta wa chi la ngir yong go ne pe chi na nga so kopar chi tha chi na ni par tab na ne sa go par ko te kan ja yo na nang li thon de sa te ang ki gamo nang chi chak thap yo ari te nang jin go nu pa to lama la yo pa yin di nam chi rang yong lama nang jin go Simchin Mangola Pantukin Japan Chili Chanti Chagayong Biopare, and the Indite, that Chuli Taki Lama Daglame, Chuji only Yamlin Sandam Yamlin Jina Tuesday of them. Susan Nakami, Torang Karina season and Nike, some Pando, Yiti Youth Sarvanizonsi, some Mate, Nipper, Lamate Nonsin Chagdogre, Lamatega Parkon, Parkanoni from the Parman Chagdogre, or the Yunana, Terang the Tampon, Lama Takami.
And then if we can follow such a good lama, like rely on such a good lama, then it is like we say, like there's there's no other lama like greater than you. There's no like deity, nobody superior than you, no Buddha superior than you, because actually even if we have like a golden statue of the Buddha and put it in the shrine, then this golden stupa will not be able to tell us anything. Or even if we have all the Kangyur and Dengyur there, then without the Lama we won't be able to understand it. But with the Lama, having a Lama who is like a manifestation or the master of loving kindness and compassion, then only with this Lama, yeah, as we say, I have only to think of my Lama, I only pray to my Lama. Yeah? This is all my practice, my Dharma that I'm doing, and then the Lama will give us the teachings or the gradual stages of the path of the Dharma teachings, and then oneself will, when one is doing this and following this, oneself will become also such a special being like the Lama. Just like if we have a printing block, and then we put the paper on it, then it will just, whatever is on the block, it will be on the paper. And so if we, in this way, if we have a Lama with this power of loving kindness and compassion, and who is benefiting many sentient beings, then by following the Lama, whatever the Lama tells us, thinking that there's no greater Lama than you, and whatever you teach is the Dharma, so I will do it. And if we practice like this, then just like we will become a copy of this Lama and obtain the same qualities.
Koyang mamba chimbo tang, hopla chimbo tang, authentic nonin parin kuri shiun yongkan. Dendi sumdan ga yundan sumdan chita, a ngasi muk tapi ni mamba de ten go yo bariya. Keni mamba kang somba de operation jab go bari, man za go na za masam na za go yo are, ngarang su napa ga tonde, rang za go za samba chuna te maza jina maza tini, ta tili she go are, te rang tonde ma mamba ga ton mare. Teni mamba tila yichi blok tak goni chik gubare mato. Mamba tin tharna yang, mamba ti yundan chimbo, nyamnyong chimbo, o tili shiun chimbo. Tili chi yinna yang, mambi somba ngasu manyan banding na ngasu nalla pantabi wa mara. Tin nangzin de, ngasu sim gan nat, nyomong batu chuka jarni, sim sangji ga rangtin ngonde chik guba yinna, tila lama tiang, sinsi nuksum ga rangtin. Orang sawi lama tin nyong kan, chu tela lobjang ya po chit nyong kan. Orang ga nyamdin chi ni nyamnyong yang ya po yun kan. Tende the sevi ram tin chang do lama chi tin ni, og chik song to kat gu ba chi ngasu la ni par chuk yo re ma to. Lami rang lik do chi ni. Yin chik meni to lama chi tin tharwani, lama tu zangna nganna kare na cho lama ga tin ba u chomok lan de gu re chi ni cham tang wan do tang liksur do chi. Lamlik do chi ti go yo pa tan ni ma re. Napa ke mamba tiya tiya lamlik chik maria, bang ke nat tak dicet ya. Jadi chila ko aleni lama bi sini tempo sini jadayot.
For example, like if there's a sick person and this sick person wants to cure themselves of their sickness, then they need to go and find a good hospital, a good doctor. And if they don't know themselves they can ask somebody, where is there a good doctor, and kind of really need to insist to find a good doctor, and then need to be a doctor who has also love for the patients, who has studied medicine well, who knows about how to cure and has the medicines to cure. And then we follow that doctor, we rely on that doctor, meaning that whatever the doctor tells us, we go through with it. If the doctor says you need an operation, we go have an operation. If he says take this medicine, we take it. If he tells us don't eat this and eat that, we do like that, because we understand that the doctor is doing this for us, not for themselves. So So therefore we trust in that. We follow the doctor because we trust that. In the same way, like the lama, he need to be a lama who has great qualities, experience, and knowledge. And if we want to like cure ourselves of this sickness of mind, want to discover this nature of Buddha of mind, then we need to follow a lama who has these qualities of wisdom, love and potential, who has followed himself, his own master, who has practiced the teachings of his master, has gained experience of these practices and realization, and then has love for the students. And then we follow this lama. And once we follow the lama, then to do what the lama says, it's not like for the lama's sake or because it is a rule or like a law that we need to follow the lama, or it's just a tradition that we follow the lama. Just like it is, we don't follow the doctor's advice because it's tradition to do so, because we trust it. So in the same way, we need to rely on the lama in this way. Trust, out of our trust and on confidence and devotion, we follow the lama.
Tabi lama sivi rang chanchi rang tobyong lama tinga sola kang songyong grezina chorong la tamjur nyeka wit kur masu melu tepe top kawa yemba topa tonda dembe yembi korsi chola shayong grez degi chola kang pan tok grezina masu mase garantang te tyang yuare lala chika masu mase garantang te mashina niskap ko shawa lamdro me pandro tondak nyesewa tondak chongo de mandrab nang lala ga chang thong zak nyorji za rang she su jab jab san te tendi duwa tendi yenya su nyang ge yoma malu rambo chi thop ka wa yindi sarte so ye po shiona rang ga masi garan thang ye ko ngota te yore e tani sem pati sha yong gare sem matak pa yamba lab yona de ga nga su tutut garan thang sha ke yore mathe ge tutut ke lo ka cha ina lo tang nyamala su pi tutut te thogla gan ro manyamba tutut te penjikin nga kontra yamba chok te kirwa yambi tutut garan thang nga so ngota che ke yore Any league gimri te so share yong gare te kang ri na hupu ni lik chi tan la phap ke yore ramjang ga so nang chu ge chi tamo ma imba kare na chi se so so chi ge lam lik chi zo yo ma ri chepa ina nang pa ina te hupu ni lik je je te te na mela thawa yo pa ton chila lan chi yo pa te hupu chi ni chi ge ba to chepa mela thawa yo ge na nang pi tong wa yin je la pe wa chi ma ra cha so ge tmo gam tan nang de put ni me ga ramjin cha jang sa pa yin yo ra te naujin chini hupu nilik tan la pape yo pa chiri li jam di de denin khorwa dingar to naujin him ba kula kwa da ku da sai yo gare ela mate ga tin ko ngoni khorwa dingar to naujin yimbi hupu nilik kula ku da sa te yo are ma to dingar main ba ti tini namba yimba la tini dingar gom go se la yo mare o tendi yindi te lord of number jela so panin go so te kyam do tang sim ki chok tang jobjang la so pa Deni takbiran ba tamsi chorang gu lutsatang, chorang gu nutsatang sinni lamati kula tinsan yung gaderes.
And then when we follow a lama who is of the nature of great love and kindness, loving kindness and compassion like that, then what he teaches us will be, first he will introduce us to the precious human life with all the freedoms and riches or fortunes that is so difficult to obtain. And by this he will introduce us to the value of human life, because sometimes when we don't recognize the value of human life, how valuable this human life that we have now is, then some like just get wasted away with alcohol, or others take drugs, and only like follow small aims and cannot accomplish anything great, which is really possible with this human life. So therefore, the Lama, by introducing us to the human life endowed with freedoms and fortunes, then and the difficulty to obtain it, he explains us the vast value of this human life. After that, he will explain us about impermanence of life. By this, he will show us the value of time, how valuable is time, that like years and months and days are we should not waste, because time is so valuable. It's time ends, and therefore it is becomes so valuable, the little time we have. And then the Lama introduces us to the karmic principle of cause and effect, showing us the a reality, a fact of our reality, that whatever we do as an action, karma, create as a karma, as an action, will have a result. So by this, he actually shows us something that is truth. There's not for everybody. It's not that only Buddhists will have effect of their actions and non-Buddhists not. It is just like when we say that the nature of fire is to burn. Yeah, so this is something that is equal for everybody, not only for Buddhists. And then the Buddha, the Lama tells us about the nature of suffering of the cyclic existence, which is another reality, which is not something that only the Buddhists say and we have to meditate it to be suffering, but it is the reality that the cyclic existence is of the nature of suffering. So in this way, the Lama introduces us to the meditation of the 4 mind reversers, or mind reversing reflections, and then taking refuge, giving rise to bodhicitta. And then we need to follow the Lama like in the way that we put it into practice as much as we are capable to.
Tendi indi nga su teni lama ta tiyan de ka chimbore zeki yubati ta chin number 6 san na yang halam ha ko ndu ba nga su naba chi ka mamba te bi ka na man te ga phanna bhangndu te lab gore mamba te yang te lan jirwa tang gare ma phanna phang mande jena yang man so so chi nang gare o yang kap te la phan so na jima chi la luk na yang na yang ni ngoma te mamba te la nyam nyu yo pa rang nag je la nyam nyu yo pa rang nag je la tak che tang nyung khan ga Doctor Mambati Yosan Donane, or young Kohuma Man Kanga Pembayina. A Nashi Kang Tobayina, Lil House in the Chut of the URA. See now, Masulama Chiteni, Tidisinan, Torang the Senjik, the Nomo Bati, any Martha Tango by Nanda, Nam the Chip go by Nanda, Nomo Bata Kanda, she need to Tuka Jabona, Nanga Sanji, Yishi Gombate, open the Moon the Chirvi Tabla, Kulama Tig, Torang the Shisut, Torang the Shion. Orang the Nupa, orang the Sunji, orang the Shirab Latin, the Latin on Shanker, the Dam of the Sani of the Paindi, what you keep it to Lasani, Potu Tawana, then you have the Kitip Tanana, you will call you na Chipachina Choji, Machuk Pachina, Magic in the Lavio Pamato. The Murray, they did the same come down journey, the Susaya Kayomar, Chip Sarvani don't take it. Chip Parta Paruna take it. Lama gives in Chigana, that's one more chipper. Hasang the Terango work, Simcom Gunjurduk than Tini, Dam Ganayong. Dendi Yumbala Tenin, Lama gives in Tini, Take the phone, Yamlin of Zandami, giving a contact on an angle, the long tongue, since you have a chance to Lama Tena, that's what the Mulurumboche Tupa told the Dambalan Yerkiri, is your youth.
So in this way, it is very important as to follow the Lama, to rely on the Lama, and I think most of you know that. It's just that we follow the doctor, and then when just like when we follow a doctor, also in the medicine, like he prescribes us, benefits us, he gives us more, or he changes it when he thinks it needs to be changed now to the next one, or when it stops to benefit, he will give us a different medicine. So the doctor will also use his own experience and his knowledge to apply to us in the situation. And likewise the Lama, then when we rely on the Lama, then in order to like how to tame or transform these afflictive emotions within our mind, how to manifest this nature of primordial wisdom of the Buddha within our mind, then the Lama will use his own knowledge, his own potential, his wisdom, and experience, and give us the instructions to guide us, each person according to their capacity. So this is why, as humans, like if we just take care, try to find out for ourselves, then it will be very difficult to cure us or to help us or benefit us, so like in the same way with the Lama, by following the Lama and receiving the crucial instructions of the Lama, then we Lama who possesses the transmissions and tantras and crucial instructions, then when we apply them with all our strengths and potential that we have, we can make this human life very meaningful.
Thakpar tanga so banzariyana sanghak durji thakpi chula chorang muba yongkan depa yongkan nyamlin cheyala tani tamu yongkan china thakpar to tani tela yundan yopi lama chikmatin na sanghak durji thakpa zigite banzariyana zigite tini mo mangbo chila nyam chikal hobjang chetan jogji chik mare mo rang su ga sem ga jongdar da sem kham ga ni tang dang chini na tani chigjet tang sumjet tang dunjit la sigoni teli che guba jire ma to mo sigla lap chokpa ngana mo sig ma to lap ma chokpa ngana mo sam sam sigla lap chokpa mo mambo na to ma chokpa ngana mo dun sam la che chokpa teli ma sigla lap ma chokpa do teli gatini ko yundan gamba dan chini na lap guba so durje chokpa teli yo pala teni yang atu pecha sikana la sandi pa sam jike te to yo hamare lama di sinin ten guba hachang kar chimbore.
And especially for those who have devotion and confidence and trust in the secret mantra and Vajrayana, then for those who want to practice the Vajrayana, it's absolutely necessary to rely on a qualified spiritual master with all the qualities. It's not something also that like the Vajrayana that can be given to many people, but like when it comes down to explaining the nature of mind, then it is a teaching that is given either just to one person or to 3 people at a time or to 7 people maximum at a time, and otherwise it's not told like in an open way, and then in this way the Lama reveals these gradual stages of the qualities of the secret mantra, which cannot be learned from texts alone. So therefore in the secret mantra and Vajrayana is like crucial to rely on the spiritual master and Lama.
An thamjik nga so tisu lang thewa chekandi ngi tani sik jagayin ta te tata ngi gond juba nang jin sanghak durji thekpa inna Vajrayana nyamlin cheyala tangdud yechi go towa yongkan inna thapar to lama li dam rang chikpa yindong juni tani che gubaji yindi lama matin rang ten re ziyate tani lab yongdi sanghak durji thekpa ma la thopa la mathop jina so ma chukpa nyam ma chukpa ko chukda ma chukpa nyan chukda ma chukpa ewa mambo chi guba yindi che karina lala ga samgyi wari pena khasang thammo sona khasang ke gomo tela tata nga yo san de kurlong di so kurzam pamma olang di sa nga tata yo san nga tu gondi gunsan de nga teri orala kurzam pamma olang nga dena yo di khasang thammo watun deni nga tu chuchok kona ga nyamnin chen kan dawo da nyam chigita iskol ko hofun kopta ga hofun chigela step song hofun te ga nga tu sonyen nangin ta phasik dawa chik samga asu gunka ga yoga sarnong chokram bare lotu ngatu ki lo sarnong je ngatu yoga sarnong yore wala to tapar ngatu chokyo ba indi am bomthang ni chokyo ba le bomthang gomba ga nang ni chokyo ba indi tin chokram bi kor ka kacha chi shepi kabla iskol ko hobon chi ka ngala tawa chi ti song te khorong ti na tok chok ya mare ne lap khande ni cherang ga hondro bomnga ti so hondro chasang sagjang lami nam jor tang chi ba trub yut teni cherang sang durji thakbi wang thob yut teni keram ga nyemba yang kangla kangsam re sag yut teni chorong la tang chicham go bar la tam sik nyam chik me ba jig yin Teni sarung gomjela tuwa tang jinsak se nyamnin chintut ko tuwa yo na chorang yang tok chokore. Ti phomo chapar yo amare kha girjun ge chapar yo amare tok chokore. Te main na tok chok ko mare je ngatedi lapi kabla khog tokba chingala. Terang number ngaso Hindu da te so yoga sarung ge nyamnin te so la kurmo jinjak na ngaso phomo gang tok chokondu. Nangbi sarung la tedi mambo chi changgu ba ngondro sakbo Bumga Targo, Yerum Tang, Wang Toggo, did you have the Karina, the love to be sweater? We put Lopan Diva, Toptak Lopanchi in the Kerang class the Tupa Napan Royong Kanchika, Naga College Star goes, and the master job goes in a Chukari Lapkare, the love song. The coach should love to give us. Kogashi Sati Chorang and Changaris, Kokalas Napa Tubam and Royo Amaris. Then the Chika Kutan. Nipper the college the master to be chat is only don't occur show. Niti tip to Sotata Laka in Nati Lap goes the Chola Usuk Javna, to carry lap the I took a chigamar, the Taro to sit at the deal leave you Amari. They get all a punt for Mari, the Togo Cracker was. It's a cracker is in Kogat. It hope to tell a samba number cracker you Amari. It hope to the Taro she sat on Yun Satka, college the Nide. Thorum Gsilakal Hotel Hoji Kotarong she sat down, Lapati, Narson Yomaris. Master Japi Peshach, Master Kishung, Kitip Teso, Tip Teso, Korang Latatal have gone, Kukang Kochokomaris, Tim Machut Palatini, Taron Chokalas, Dumba Japani, Yandunin, Ramba Rambashini Hobda, Chomang Balachu Masetepe, Shung, Shipuchi Chakare Masto, Marandi, Hunitalisina, Sola Pantok Maris, and Sutini Hopchiko Marias, and the Hopchiko Maris. Oh, fit function ding, Asutini Mondo Sako, Wang Topgo, Telit Kachgo, Savilama that is so Tamski Yamchaka Mepa, Sarno Gomyala, Tua Yopachina, Poda Mogi Chaparame, Sanga Durji Tepala, Zamlang Sharnupko Mogi Chaparame, Riktan Rujiki Chaparame, Yamin Chichopa Yin Mato, see mine Namachuk Zeatia, Lam Lifto Drawchik, Jasta Sugni Namachuk, Lapi Amare. Ron at the Simtush. Lusim de Jonder Draw Yapuchi, Mondo Jonder Yapuchi Mena, shooting a Panmatok being Yanka Yuare, or Tendi Lapicana, the Koranga and Koalen songs, Timona Kogangala, Hendigo, Yoga Tarmo, Yoga, Kurmo Jinjana, so Sutona Tochapund, Nambi Tarlunga, Mambo Tiche, Guacare in the Nicoba, or Zopun Chikangala, the Toxir Shaken, the Netela Toba, Toxir Tendi Jubayan. Tapi tiang nangjen deh, sengi tata lama tiang goze tiang lama ciona, cuma tiga siun te korang di sigere, kola nimjong kanda ciyo, ko nyangje kanda ciyo, ko taknang kanda ciyo, ko tondu kanda ciyo sige yo arezi. Te sina koga ramba tang sini, oh ta karsang kola tini sang dorje takwa merong da, terang kupe samlo tang sang yakku ciyo donde, terang kola sang dorje takwa ciyo kona, so cuk cuk ndik samni lama ti kola nangere. Ke namjeng de tsur tanga si sipi goni, ke lama gisi ene ko tenni, namba sanji di chula lobjang ya kon taro nang, terang delan so yong kan cha sang la, nga tang rumbochi, ni cha sang la ta si delan tang sampun chuljen den de molam yos.
And as I said before about the secret mantrayana, like when we trust in the secret mantrayana and want to, then it's absolutely necessary to follow the lama. And sometimes we say like the secret mantrayana needs so much like things we need to go before, prerequisites, otherwise we cannot receive it. And and sometimes it seems we ask ourselves why so much things needed, you know. So I had, for example, like here in this place where I'm now in Bhutan, in Kurlung, in Pema Öling, where I'm staying in this winter retreat, my winter residence. There was recently came a teacher of a school, like came like a director from school, and he asked me like because usually I always have this practice of Tsalung, the yogas of the winds and channels of the Buddhist teachings, which are very high teaching of the secret mantra that I give in Tang. And so he asked me if he can also participate in that. And I said, well, if you have done like the 500,000 accumulations of the preliminary practices, including the Guru Yoga, and then have received the empowerment, ripening empowerment of secret mantrayana, and have done also some practice of generation stage practice, and have no broken samaya with your root lama and the lineage, and then you can, and you have really devotion and trust in the practice of Tsalung yoga, then there's no difference between man or woman, or whether you're from east or west or however like age you are, you're allowed to come, but otherwise you cannot come. And then the teacher, he asked me, he said, how is it that for example, when we want to learn Hindu yoga, Hatha yoga, we just need to pay some money and everybody can go. So, but in Buddhist yoga, it's like we need all these things, like the accumulations of 500,000 preliminary practice and practice of generation stage. How is it, that we need so many things? I explained him, I said, if you're in school and the students of 5th grade students, they come to you and say, okay, we want to study the master now, please teach us the master grade. And then you will say like, but you guys are only in 5th or 6th grade. Even if I would bring now all the papers of the master, you wouldn't understand anything. It would be no benefit to teach you anything like that. But if you, because you're just young students, but if you continue to study like so 7th and 8th grade, then you will be able to read the texts of the master and study the program of master. Then you will become a master and you will be really understand. But before your time comes, it will be of no benefit. Yeah. So this is what I told him, and I said in the same way, it's like if like before you receive, you did the preliminary practices, received the empowerments, have done the like Gerim practice, and if you don't have like pure samaya to your lama, then even if you like the Tsalung, then it will be of no benefit. But if you have all this and you like Tsalung, then it's really true. Everybody can practice it, man, woman, whether from east or west, or no matter what age and no matter what race. Everybody can practice it. But if it's before its time, and then there is the danger that Dharma might not benefit you, so therefore before that he told me, how is it that with Hindu Hatha yoga we just have to pay and can do it, but in the Buddhist yoga we cannot do, so I gave him this example, and that's why we need to rely on the Lama. By relying on the Lama, and then whatever he knows, whatever practice the Lama has, the practice of his pure perception, the practice of his compassion, the practice of like devotion, then it will come to us, and we will become like the Lama. We will be able to learn it from the Lama, and then the Lama will teach us whatever we need in the moment, So in this way, it's very important to follow the Lama. So this is what I wanted to say anyway as a conclusion now, because time is up. So from my side of Tang Rinpoche, I pray that everything will be auspicious for you and that all your wishes will be fulfilled according to the Dharma.
Kadanche tenite pardanda padandorji yang kajur sinina kadanche kasi japaten chikan japan tineji tani namkarambo cheda silhoma sosoyon sudoba kusuk detang dang tudam konfere inji rewayut mulam yang tapkayut tani ngarang jime pama wanjara yang kusuk detang dang joknya tanga so sarnong kirkur siglan that tapi rewada mulam yut tani te mayim bi terang de la nyam dan zum yo bi chutok promoyon sudoba la yang serang name samton de bi mulam yut tani thamjik terang asu chesuk ke temde ni chesuk sambare je koni na tani ngasu shilog la ngasu dina tawanam yore delon tawanam o khoso nyam de shilog la doni dikap la na dollar to ni pare ni pisu tini ka sambala kwa nor sone la pisu ko na ngate the hip market ko tedi tanga jong yo pa yang pisu group group at kon yong kan deso la sorry non tar ke ni yang chen chat tabi molam yo ta si de la.
Then I want to say thank you to Balden Dorji, the translator. I pray that all your wishes and activities will be accomplished, and also for Gyabje Namkha Rinpoche and all the Sangha of the Ritsin community, that all goes well and that your realizations increase. And to the Gongbel and then also to Chingmepe Wangyal, I hope that you can come also to the mandala of Tsalung, and for all the students who are here, I pray that all your wishes are accomplished. And I was a little bit late because I have misunderstood that the teaching will start at 3 o'clock my time. And as I was outside, some monk came and said, no, Rinpoche, it's at 2 o'clock. So that's why I came a little bit late. So I want to say sorry again for being late.
Sunam de tham che zi pa nyat yang che ka nan che ba non tu ba sibin soli ndor nam ndor wara shong chang che sem che go rambo che ma chi ba nam ji ger chi ba nyam ba me ba yang kong ne kong de pher wara shong sab jib la mi shen la ba nyang la yu ye tam lai ji zong hu zhe ba top khan ro tam chen lu tang zhe shen ro kang sam len ji zhe bi zha xi shong